So before I get started with part 2 of this video, I wanted to, if you saw part 1, I said I was talking about how to handle your hair when it's wet and how to be careful and not to wring it and, you know, try to not use your nails, use the pads of your fingers because you don't want to damage your locks. So I didn't heed my own advice, and this is, you know, me telling you that I'm not perfect. I didn't heed my own advice, and one of my locks broke right off. And it's a nice and long one too, so it broke off in the back. So one of the longer ones, the tip of it fell off. And this is why you want to be careful when you're handling your locks, because this can happen, especially when your hair is wet. So keep in mind, you want to be gentle with your hair. But anyway, I'm going to braid my hair into braids for a braid out in a couple days. So I'm going to do my braids kind of big because I don't want the curls really tight or the waves really tight. And I'm not doing it in any particular pattern when it comes to sectioning. I just want the curls or the waves. I'm not braiding too tight, and you'll see some of the braids where little parts are sticking up. That's because some of my locks are shorter. Like I said, I don't have perfect locks. I'm not one of those YouTubers with, you know, their locks are all nice and shiny and perfect and, you know, unblemished. No, me and my locks have a story to tell. So if you can see that guy back there, that thin one, see how thin that one is? But hey, my journey has not been perfect. I am still finding things that my hair likes and that it doesn't like. Like, I know my hair likes aloe vera. I know my hair likes the shampoo that I use. So, you know. Anyway, I was going to band the end of my hair, but I'm not. I'm going to see if it'll stay. It's another big, like I said, I'm not doing any particular parting systems or parting styles. Just picking up hair and braiding it. And that's it. Because usually when I go out, I try to protect my hair, and I don't go out without something covering my hair that often. So I'm going to, and since I'm styling my hair, I'm not going to let it, or wet setting, I'm not going to let it air dry. I have a Layla Ali bonnet dryer that I have been using for a couple years because, you know, it's nothing fancy. I don't use artificial heat a lot, so it suffices for what I want it to do. So I'm going to use that to dry my braid out. And just keep braiding. Braid, braid, braid. I'm not a very fast braider, as you can see. I'm left-handed, so everything is a little weird for me when it comes to doing my hair. When it comes to doing anything, but especially my hair. When I went through the Sister Lock certification class, I was the only left-handed person. So when it came to holding the tool and all that good stuff, I was like, I need some extra help. Because everything's different when you do it with your left hand. If you don't believe me, try to do something you usually do with your right hand with your left hand. And you'll see just how difficult it can be. It's another braid. I probably have 6 or 7 braids total. Nothing too crazy. And again, when you're braiding your hair, you want to be careful. You don't want to twist the shaft of the locks too much. You can't help it when you're braiding. There's gonna be some friction, but you don't want there to be too much, lest you lose another lock like I did, another end of a lock. So my hair is very soft, very, very soft. So I just have to be extra careful when I am manipulating my hair. So I usually rock my locks straight because I don't do a lot of manipulation with my locks. I'm not freeform, but I don't touch my locks unless I need to. I do keep them manicured. I don't go as often as I should because I want to make sure I'm not doing anything that's going to be too damaging to my locks. So I probably go every 6 to 8 weeks for a retightening. I do not have sister locks. I have micro locks. I started off with palm rolls, and then I moved up here to Alaska and started to get them maintained by a sister lock consultant. But they are not sister locks. I just have micro locks, I guess, or very small locks. And you can see the ends of them. They're not locked. They're not interlocked. They started off as palm rolls, so they're twisted at the bottoms. Yep. So here's another one. The ends, I'm not too worried about being absolutely perfect. I know that's probably bad, but I like the more eclectic look. You know, I'm not trying to be perfect. I just want a little volume, a little movement in my actual locks. So a little bit of a wave will be perfect for what I want my locks to end up looking like. So since I'm not banding each lock individually, I'm going to braid all the way to the end, or as far as I can go to the end. Because again, my locks are not all the same length. Because if I had to give you a number, maybe 15. I have 268 locks, 268. Maybe 15 or 20 of them have broken off somewhere. And then there's some that were created, like this one. So my locks are not all the same length. I thought about cutting them to the length of my shortest lock and then just starting over from that length. But I don't want to. I didn't start this journey for my locks to be perfect, and I'm not going to get upset or try to fix them because they're not perfect, as long as they are healthy. So if your locks are thin in the shaft, let them be thin. Doctor them, bring them back. Use a regimen that will be beneficial for you. You don't necessarily have to cut them off. If your locks are thinning at the root, you need to go see someone and get them fixed. Get a grooming appointment or something and get them fixed. All right, so I have 3, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 total braids. Look at that guy. See, it's short. So if I cut all of them that short, I wouldn't like that too much. So like I said, where's my bands? I don't even have my bands. Here we go. So I have 8 total. I'm going to band these 3 together at the ends. And I hate doing this, but I don't want them to come unraveled. And since I'm getting under the dryer to dry them out, I don't mind the bands being on there. And I missed one. Because again, you don't want to air dry your hair while it's in a ponytail. Because that portion that's actually wrapped around, like if your ponytail is here, this part won't dry as well as everything else. So if you are going to style your hair while it's wet, you need to make sure you dry it so you don't get that mold, mildew, stinky smell, because that's nobody's goal, honestly. No one gets locks and says, I want my locks to stink. And if you do, you should not have locks. Locks are not the lazy hairstyle people think they are. Locks require a lot of, I don't want to say a lot of upkeep, but a lot of attention. You have to know your locks. You have to know what they like. You have to know how to feed them, how to make them grow, how to care for them, how to nurture them. So, use this one over here. If you're not up to the task, do yourself a favor and don't get locks if you think it's a lazy hairstyle, because boo-boo. Let me tell you, you're going to get these locks and think it's a lazy hairstyle if you won't, and then get mad when your hair starts falling out. Because that's what's going to happen. I need another band. Dadgummit. Okay, I don't like rubber bands, but I'm going to go ahead and use one. These rubber bands in here are old. I don't even think they'll keep. They might break. All right, here's one. Okay, so all of my hair is braided and wrapped, or braided and banded on the ends. Now I'm going to sit under the dryer and let it dry. I'm not going to make a third video because I have things to do, but maybe I'll just pin this back like this. Yeah, I'll do something like this and let it dry. Oh, there's my alarm. Go get my son. He gets off the bus in 10 minutes. But I'll do something like this and sit under a dryer. And when it dries, I'm still not going to take the braids out. I'm going to wear my hair braided and dry for a couple days. And then I'll make another video when I get ready to take my braids out. So you can see the very, very subtle waves that I'm going for. At least I hope that's what happens. If they're tight, that's fine, because they probably will be since I'm twisting them on themselves like that. I wouldn't be mad at it, but that's not what I'm aiming for. So I hope you all are having a great day. Let me know what your regimen is for your locks and how you create your curls, your waves, or your wet sets.